Good morning and welcome to the Corona Chat with Matt. Great to be together this morning. And this is just a little video series that I'm putting together that just kind of aims us at God in the morning so that we can get past some of the Corona drama that's going on out there and get aimed at God so that really we can put the one that we're supposed to have out front there, and the other stuff really falls into place when we put God first. So that's helping me. Hopefully you're getting something out of it. It's been a great experience going through the New Testament letters following Acts. And this morning we're traveling into James, and I'm super excited about that. He is the half-brother of Jesus, and he writes a letter to the Messianic Jews. That's the Jewish Christians. And basically, a Jew lived a life trying to be perfect, trying to match the law. And they wanted to be mature, complete, whole, really. And the Hebrew word for this is tamim. And what tamim meant was to be good or to have completeness, to be whole, to achieve. Tamim was everything to a Jew. And that's where James takes his aim. He uses that to point them to Jesus, which is really neat. As you read through the letter, you'll kind of understand what he's getting at. Now, scholars say that James refers to the Sermon on the Mount for his reflection to point people to Jesus, but I don't really agree with that. I think personally, and I've also read other scholars have talked about this as well, that he grew up with the Son of God. You know, he knew Jesus' heart, he knew his convictions, and he writes his letters beneath that lens. So, of course, you imagine being Jesus' brother, and his mother would probably always come to you and say, "Why can't you be more like your brother?" You know, so it wouldn't be easy to be the brother of Jesus, but at the same time, imagine the reflection that you would have through watching him day in and day out, and how he treated his mother, and you know, the way that he treated tasks, the way that he treated his Torah. I mean, it would probably amaze you, and you would grow up underneath that. And so we go into this morning with that lens, thinking about how James must have seen Jesus and how he viewed him. And he writes his letter, this power-packed letter. And we're not going to go through the whole letter, of course, but I found a nugget this morning I'm super excited about. And in James chapter 1, verse 5 is what we're going to look at. It says, "If any of you lacks wisdom," which leads to tamim, right? "You should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you." What is wisdom? You know, wisdom, really, it's the quality of having experience, knowledge, and good judgment. And basically, this was a Jew's dream, tamim, you know, to achieve good judgment. If you think about wisdom, really what it means is experience. So if I want 10 years of wisdom, I need 10 years of experience. There's no fast forward button. So the big picture is, what am I really asking for when I'm asking God for wisdom? Well, I'm asking him for experience. Solomon in Ecclesiastes 1:18, he says, "For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief." So what I'm asking for when I ask for wisdom, life experience, scars, learning. I'm asking for some background to my life. I'm asking for some history to be installed into my life so that I can actually have this wisdom. Philippians 4:11 makes me think about Paul. I mean, he learned to be content in whatever circumstances. It wasn't something that he just decided to have. It took time. It took trials. So through his life experiences, through persevering when it got tough, that's where his learning kicked in. The lessons weren't learned until after the experiences. See, wisdom is not just some fairy dust that falls out of the sky or some magic ring that falls onto my finger like Frodo. It actually has to be acquired. So I want the wisdom of Paul. Of course, we want to have his convictions, his passion, his faith. But it takes time to develop this. It takes time to go through what God has in store for me to get where I want to be, to receive tamim. So I want wisdom, but am I willing to endure the lessons? So we'll look at a little bit more of James 1. It says, but whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues in it, not forgetting what they have heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do. Verse 12, back just a few verses, it says, blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. That crown of life, tamim. You know, we all desire tamim, but are we willing to persevere under trial? Endure those tests, continuing God's commands when it gets tough to achieve tamim. You know, there's a huge golden nugget for me this morning. Hopefully this has pointed your compass towards God and really uncovered a new lens as we walk towards Jesus. I love you all. Have an amazing, incredible day. An incredible start to your short week. Take care.